Ah, are we live? There has to be a better way. It looks like we're live. I can see myself live. Will I hear myself talking? Good, it's not playing back over the over the broadcast. Hello, everybody. Levi Clay here. That is that. Oh, there's a little beep. That'll tell me. YouTube's funny like that. So when you go live on your own YouTube channel, it emails you to tell you you are live on your YouTube channel. It's like, dude, I know I'm live. Also, funnily enough, I'm streaming. I'm not reading my emails right now. Anyway, hello everybody. We are back again for another weekly edition of Let's Learn Live. And today we are going to be talking about the floating picking hand technique. But obviously much more to say about that as we descend into the lesson. I'm reading comments. Let me know how the volume levels are, guys. I've boosted them up a few. You can see my microphone isn't quite on axis. Yeah, I boosted the levels of the vocal, so hopefully my vocal is louder this week. Just let me know though. Hello Yavor, hello Drew, hello Brian. Hope you guys are all well. Yeah, floating picking technique this week. I'm going to do the same thing that I usually do. I'm just going to warm up playing over some loops on my loop pedal, and get your questions in if you have any questions. I could probably move this chat over here because I don't think I'm using the excellent. I don't think I'm going to be using the guitar profile in this. I think I am going to be using the notation that we have in the lesson. What is my favourite guitar? Well, it's not this one. I do love this guitar. This is my Howard Roberts Fusion. I have a Benedetto. I've not used it on YouTube yet. I've used it on Patreon for guided practice routine videos. I have a Benedetto Pat Martino signature. And yeah, that's my favourite guitar. I've wanted one of those for so many years. And thought it would be impossible to get one. One, because they're relatively uncommon. And two, because they are prohibitively expensive. Outrageously expensive guitars. So yeah, I never thought I'd get one. So to have one, it's near and dear. I would pick it up for you, but I don't even leave it here in the studio. It stays in the house. So yeah, I've just set up some A flat. Let's get it on. Let's do something else. I recently discovered the guitar. Oh wow, the Guitar Souls podcast. I've gone back to episode 1. Loving Album Club so far. Any plans for more episodes or for Album Club to feature outside of the podcast? Need some new music. Yeah, so I'm in talks with somebody else about doing a podcast. Guitar solos was always difficult to do because Mike's schedule was always a pain in the ass to work with. And Mike's a dad now, so I think his schedule's only got worse, if I'm honest. It's just a case of just finding time to do things, if I'm honest. So let's name that chord progression. Let's not do that. I've only done the first part of it, but it's not Ollie. It's not Take the A Train. Take the A Train's a little different. Only fractionally, though, to be fair, I guess. Yeah, okay. This is different in that there's a 6 chord that happens before the 2 chord. Yeah, so we're on 1 and then 6, and then to 2. 2 minor. Damn close though, Drew, yeah. Take the A Train would be super close. I'll stop. It's always a fun little warm-up to play over some changes. I thought I would do a little bit of that before the 10 o'clock start, because we aim for a 10 o'clock start. So greetings from Brazil. That's my type of music. Beautiful phrasing. Thank you very much. Always lovely hearing you play. Have to be off. Thank you so much for tuning in, Yvor. It's good to see you, my friend. And of course, as everybody can see, Yvor has a little ratchet next to his name, because he is an old school Guitar Souls moderator. So yeah, always nice to see from him. Take the A Train. So yeah, before we start, I'm going to do the usual. If you do enjoy this stream, please do check out my Patreon page, link in the description. There's a lot of links in the description, actually. The main one, head on over to the link in the description and get yourself a PDF and Guitar Pro download for all of the materials that we're going to be working on this week. In fact, if I press this, it will remind you that there is a download sheet. Link below. It's not that download sheet. All of the exercises that I've composed for this particular lesson do fit on screen, so I won't need to keep going to this page. But yeah, we had some problems last week sending out emails, because sending out emails via that mailing list, it's a new thing that I'm doing, and we were sending out so many of them so quickly, they thought that it was a spam thing, so we had to do some account verifications, and of course that happened. When did that happen? Oh yeah, while the stream was happening, so emails weren't going out to people, which is always handy. Always, you go to all this effort of planning and it doesn't happen. So yeah, check out the link in the description and get yourself access to the PDF file and Guitar Pro file. There's also a link down there so you can download the 10 most popular Guitar Pro transcriptions that I've done on my YouTube channel. amassed 7 million views on those videos. So check them out. I'm sure you'll find something in there that is of interest to you. You can also head on over to my Patreon page and access the guitar profiles for all of my books. They're available on my Patreon page. And of course, mentioning books, you can also check out my latest book, Guided Guitar Arpeggio Practice Routines. I'm a big believer in arpeggios. Someone asked about favourite guitars. Speaking of one of my favourite guitars, you can see my Sir on the cover of that book. I'm a big fan of that guitar. That's kind of my main live guitar in the soul band, where I need to be bending lots of strings. But, you know, me as a player, I like heavy strings. You know, I have this guitar and the Pat Martino. They're strung up with 15s, flat wound 15s. So this is a 15 tuned to E. But that's not really appropriate for the band gigs. I need to be playing more of a super strat type thing. So I usually use my Sir for that. I have a really nice custom shop strat, which I like a lot. That's in the house in my gig bag from a gig recently. I'm very fond of my Telecaster, my Mexican Telecaster. I've got a lot of guitars and I'm very fond of all of them, actually, if I'm completely honest. Anyway, so yes, let's talk. Let's talk about guitar. So this particular lesson comes from me working on some material with one of my students over on Patreon. So he plays in a cover band type situation. Well, more of a kind of duet cover band thing. So there's an acoustic guitarist and he's coming in as a second guitar player. He's playing some rhythm and lead. And, you know, from watching him play, my immediate diagnosis of his issue was his rhythm wasn't as tight as it needed to be. So I gave him some examples to work on that combined chord work with eighth note lines connecting some of those chords. And what became apparent very quickly was that the reason his technique was letting him down when he was trying to work on this was because he was going from a strumming technique, which, if I turn like this, has a free floating hand. And then anytime he would try and pick notes, his hand would go like this. So he might be playing. Now you can do that. You can bounce from having a floating hand, which you would naturally use when strumming, to having a planted or anchored hand, which most people like to do when they're playing single note lines. But what I was pointing out to him was, for him, the weakness was coming from the fact that he was trying to make those transitions. So I wanted to talk to him about like this more free floating hand thing. And if you watch me when I solo, sometimes I plant my hand on the guitar. But again, I'll turn so you can see, right? And if I'm playing like the melody on Don Lee, I can absolutely plant my hand. But my technique is good enough that I can lift my hand off the guitar and play completely free. Now you can see there, my hand is completely free of the guitar. So why might one want to work on that, and how do we go about working on it is the real question. And the reason we would want to work on that is very, 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 very simple. And that is anytime we want to be integrating picking lines in with chordal playing. And also anytime your playing is going to require lots of string changes. So when you plant the hand down on the guitar like this, we have either a pivot on the back of the wrist. Some people will rest the front down. Some people might use their pinky finger as like an anchor that they'll use. And I'll be really clear here. I'm not saying that anchoring any part of your hand is wrong. Absolutely not. But the nature of anchoring your hand is that, for example, if you were to place the fleshy part of your palm down on the guitar like you were palm muting some notes. If I asked you to then play the E string, then the high E string, one of two things would happen. You would either keep the mute here, and you would try and twist your hand to reach that high E. And if you look at this actually hurts just holding this. If you look at my hand picking the low E and then picking the high E, whilst keeping that pivot point there, you can see that the picking motion that I'm using is different, because now I'm trying to, it's almost like I'm swinging my wrist here, whereas here it's a much more relaxed thing. So you can, that's a good example of the exaggeration of the difference between those two things. The other way that you might go from this low E string to the high E is you might move your hand across. Now I'm still anchoring with my palm, I'm just now lower on the guitar. Okay, so that's a way you can do that. But for me, what I like to do in my playing is I like to play lots of runs that might pick across all the strings. So when I play lines like that, you can see I'm moving across strings quite quickly. And in order to do that while anchoring, you have to kind of shift along the strings quite a lot. But if your hand is free of the guitar, like this, I'm able to move from string to string very, very easily. So it's about giving you that option of string crossing and also helping with rhythm, because again, when it comes to swing and when it comes to making sure your lines stay in time, having motion in the picking hand is really, really good for that. And we already know this. You wouldn't strum like this. If I went ba ba da ba da, I wouldn't strum. That would feel wrong and it sounds wrong, right? We have the motion going and we go. If you tried to strum the guitar with your wrist touching, immediately something isn't right about it, right? It's the looseness in the wrist that gives us that percussive snap and also that consistency in the rhythm. And the beauty of the motion is that we can then change the swagger of our motion to play straight or swing. Straight. Hello, HC Nilsson. Nice to see you in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. So the first exercise I'm going to have you work on, very, very simple, is just a C major chord that we're going to play with a consistent strummed motion. And you guys can already all do this, but let's just go over it quickly. So rhythmically, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and ba, da, ba, da, down, down, up, down, down, up. Just keeping that motion in the hand, right? Well, this is a great question. Sat12 says, does not anchoring restrict speed on a single line? So I misread what you put there. You can switch two of those words around. You can say, does anchoring not restrict the speed on a single note line? And you can also say, does not anchoring restrict speed on a single note line? No. Not anchoring will not restrict speed on single note lines. And we know this to be the case because there are so many players. Bring my face back up. Because there are so many players that will completely float like that. What you tend to find is that the motion will come more from the elbow, but what you're going to see when I'm working on these lines is speed isn't my primary focus. Rhythmic control is, consistency in dynamics is, but I'm still interested in speed. When you look at bluegrass players, you're going to see a lot of floating picking hands, and those guys can play really fast. So what I would say, Sat12, is that no, anchoring does not inherently restrict your speed, but what is going to restrict your speed naturally is playing with a technique that you find very unnatural. You know, This is good for all of you guys working on this today. I've designed these exercises in a way that by the end of the routine, it's going to be tricky. I want them to feel tricky and awkward. I remember when things like this felt tricky and awkward, and I love that when I play these now, I can just have my hand floating right above the guitar, and I don't have to worry. I know I'm going to hit the right strings when I play. Let's go. If I'm on that A flat and I do like string skippy things, I'll go. What are we in? A flat. So the only thing I would say that it will significantly impact is your ability to mute. So playing like this with a clean sound makes a lot of sense, or a mildly overdriven sound, but a very distorted sound, definitely not. Haley Vo, would you mind briefly explaining bluegrass harmony? When I listen to Tony Rice's lines are bluesy, it's clearly not blues. Could you elaborate on where the note choice comes from? I think the best way to describe it is it's about knowing the minor to major third thing is important, and being good at the flat five. So if I'm playing like a C, you might go you could do that, right? And that's a total bluegrass line. But going that's like a flat 3-2 thing. Being able to that minor to major third, and being confident enough, I guess, to I did, what did I do there? So I'm playing some minor. So yeah, I think it's making sure that you're good at being able to get your minor sounds in there and blending them into major. It's not bluesy. Yeah, sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not blues, but it is bluesy. Because bluegrass players aren't necessarily going to be going on a C chord. Which is inherently more bluesy, right? Yeah, I think it's not losing sight of the major would be the answer. Anyway, back to the exercise. Don't be afraid to ask questions, though, guys, even if they're unrelated. I'm always happy to go off on a little tangent. Oh, I see Doug online. Hello, Doug. I hope you and I can't believe I didn't ask this, but I hope the wedding's happened now, right? By now, Doug. You're a happily married man. How's it going? Anyway, so boring exercise. We're just looking at keeping the motion in the hand, right? And I don't think anybody here is going to struggle with that. So if I then go to this second example, what I have here is just an ascending C major scale in the open position. In fact, let me lay down a little loop for this. So I go. Now, be clear, I'm anchoring here, right? Oh, fantastic. Turn this way so you can see a little bit. Get a little bit more speed on this. So I'm definitely in contact with the string there. You might... Interesting, that's a different sound, right? Still anchored. Let's do Schofield. Floating a bit more there. Another way to check your anchoring is to do it with the palm mute. Because if you're muting, you have to be touching. Now this is important. You have to be able to play like this. I think one of the problems that guitar players often have is that they think that you have your technique. So, you know, I'm a downward pick slanter, or I'm an I economy pick. I mute all of my notes. And that's not our job as guitar players. Our job as guitar players is to be able to play things in the way that's necessary to express the music. So sometimes that means muting. Sometimes that's going to be quiet. Sometimes digging in. We could do a crescendo. We go. That's control, right? Loud. Getting quiet. Control. Okay, so this is an exercise. I just want you to put your time into that. And I do talk about talking while doing it, right? That means you've got it. If you can talk to someone while you're doing it, it's automatic. Speed it up a little bit. First 8 notes. Good question, Sat. We'll come to that in a second. And then that's speed push. I like these open position scales to work on because the fingerings require you to be able to lift the finger off the strings. Oops, I was just thinking about Sat's question. Definitely pushing the speed there for me and for the way that I play. So yeah, great question. So does economy versus alternate have any consideration on floating? They're not mutually exclusive. No, they're not mutually exclusive. You can float and still be able to sweep through strings. But I think it's important to understand the reason we're floating. Like I said, one aspect is to help improve with your string crossing and to combine chordal and single note ideas. But the other is rhythmic consistency. So if I jump to my guitar, it's about keeping this motion in my picking hand when my hand is floating like that. And the reason I'm doing that is to make sure that all of my notes are just as in time as when I'm playing rhythm stuff. So it helps if you can hear the melody. So yeah, keeping that motion in there, and for me to be playing rhythm work like that, and then think about economy picking through a C scale, you can totally do it. It feels awkward though, because for me the reason I'm doing this is to help emphasize that floating motion. Danny Rubin from Marbin Music is on. It's in the chat. Anyone unfamiliar with Danny's playing, please do go and check out Marbin. Please go and check out Marbin. I think that the work that Danny is doing with Marbin is some of the coolest. What's the best way to put this? I'd say coolest and authentic, passionate blends of rock and jazz music together. Be the way I would describe it. Danny's obviously a hell of a player, but when you listen to the compositions of what's going on there, they've got some really, really cool tunes. Like I listen to Marbin not to be impressed. I listen to Marbin's music because I really enjoy it. I listen to it because I really like the vibes, and and Danny, very versatile player. They've got everything from the more rocky jazz fusiony stuff, but also the gypsy jazz record, which was called Fernway. Is that right, Danny? It's red with a kind of like an elk, a red elk on the cover, drinking from a stream. If memory serves me right, I think that's one of those funny tests. Stevie, good example. So Stevie's obviously using a floating hand for. But then for some of his faster stuff, he might anchor in a little bit. But that's kind of the point. Like, I want to be really, really clear about this. The focus of a lesson like this, guys, is absolutely not to sell you on the idea that you've been learning to play the guitar wrong. That's not my style of teaching. It's not my approach to things. The idea here is to introduce another tool for your belt, another trick for your arsenal. There will be times, if you consider yourself a working professional musician like I do, where being able to play lots of different styles and sounds is important, and being kind of consistent in how well you can approach different styles of music for playing with other people, then this is a technique that is probably going to come in handy rather than trying to do everything with, like, I grew up an economy picker. I always tell people that. I grew up an economy picker. And I just found that it wasn't helping me in terms of the consistency of being able to play everything that was necessary of me. So it's not that I dropped it. I still economy pick when I'm playing fast. But absolutely let's try that again. I lost my train of thought because I saw a comment there. So I still economy pick when I play fast. It's not about saying this is the way to play. It's saying that there are going to be times where this is a great way for you to pull some power, right? So I saw this comment here, Molly anchors for flat picking, so not all bluegrass players flat pick floating. So I didn't say that all bluegrass players flat pick floating. I can absolutely point you in the direction of bluegrass pickers that anchor, but Molly also floats her hand. So Molly goes between a combination. If you watch her do the White Freightliner blues, I know this stuff well. Why do I know this stuff well? Because I did all those transcriptions. She has that. She can go between her rhythm work, which is very controlled, with a nice solid floating hand, and then into like her. You do the Tony Rice 3-string thing. She'll float through that. So anyway, let's look at the next example. So boring scale stuff. And I did the boring scale stuff because I wanted you to remind yourself what it feels like, how you would automatically anchor your hand when playing a scale, how most people are going to approach that. So next up, we have the classic kind of boom chick rhythm that you do in country music or bluegrass music, where we're going to hold our C chord. We're going to play a single note followed by a chord. So we're going to play a single note, then we're holding the chord. We play the A string, then a chord, then the G. This guitar slipped, so let me correct that. definitely getting close to needing a string change. But anybody that plays flat wound strings will tell you that strings last longer, but they're also more expensive. So you try and get as much life out of them as possible. Especially now as I'm playing a wound G string. Okay, so yeah, that's the rhythm, right? And I brought this up because, or I used this particular example because I think we all instinctively know that when we play something like this, we wouldn't try and anchor to play the root note, then strum the chord, then anchor, then strum. That would be really awkward to go between. Right, we would try and keep our hand floating and go. As silly as it seems to work on something like that, it is, I think, the first introduction to playing a single note and not thinking of it as being something, you know, not a single note where you would put your hand down and carefully play it. So it's worth pointing out that in terms of my rhythm, I'm really keeping that motion happening. I'm not resting. It's down, up, down. Sorry, down, up, 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 down, up. Yourself in bluegrass circles, right? You're going to have to be really good at that for your rhythm work. So, kind of boring. Let's move on. So now, similar idea, but now we're going to introduce a cross-picked arpeggio in here. So we're just thinking about chords, just arpeggiate through chords. Which, to be honest, you know, it ties in quite nicely with my arpeggio book, Guided Guitar Arpeggio Practice Routines. If you want 10 specially designed arpeggio routines with fully guided audio, so I play each one of the examples, but then I play the routine in its entirety so you can practice with me and I talk through it while we're doing it. Go and check out Guided Guitar Arpeggio Practice Routines, available on Amazon now, link in the description. Whoosh. Wrong screen. Okay, so we're going to play just as before, but then now that's a completely floating hand. And I can't think of a better example for an introduction to this as a technique. Because in order to play that, you can try to float for 2 beats, and then anchor, then float. I just think that when you do that, you are making it harder for yourself than it needs to be. Because the only reason to do that is if you think that floating is not possible. You know what I mean? So I'm going to anchor my hand because it wouldn't be possible for me to float my hand through that arpeggio. And I'm here to tell you it's totally possible. You just have to put in some practice. And there will come a point with this where it feels very natural for you to do that. And then when you make the transition from the C chord to the C over G, there's no point where you have to make a transition in your technique, right? And because of that, I can talk while I'm doing it. thing about that is if you watch my hand doing this and then changing to this, teasing the next example there, and just putting on a nice little loop for yourself. Let's go. It's probably a bit on the brisk side, but totally achievable, totally achievable. And if you need to slow it down, that's fine. And I will point out, actually, I'll bring my face up. So when I'm doing that, I'm not doing this. So showing off my receding or thinning hair there by looking down. I'm not staring down at my hand, I'm looking up. See, what I'm noticing there is I'm kind of muting that top note. I'm going, and I don't want that. I want it to ring. Okay, so that's that exercise. I do like that as an exercise, and you just want to, put in the hours on it. So now I've flipped it. So now we still have the same idea, dabba dabba da da dabba dabba da, but we're going to arpeggiate through the first part. So we'll arpeggiate through the C chord, and then the C over G will be individual notes. What's this comment? Do you think the hard rock feel entails smashing the hand in an anchoring way into the guitar at times? Oh, absolutely, yeah. You're getting that. You would. I mean, I know this isn't rock, but yeah. This is being recorded, yeah. Yes, Wayne, you'll be able to watch this after the fact. These Let's Learn live streams, every Wednesday I'm doing these now. They will be up forever, and it's really appreciated if you go and tell your friends, if you share the streams on social media, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is that you happen to do the social media thing. Please do go and download the Guitar Pro file. There's a Guitar Pro and PDF file available for this lesson, all the examples transcribed for you, so you can study at your own leisure. So do that, and tell people about my Patreon page, where you can get access to hundreds of transcriptions, ear training, weekly guided practice routines, private lessons, and much more. Douche. Oh, douche, that's me. So I'm going to do something slightly different here, though, just to keep myself on my toes, right? So, same idea. Like I say, we're just going to arpeggiate the C. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my feel a little bit. I'm going to swing now. Instead of going, I'm going to go. Awkward. It's funny how changing the position of your hand requires like an adjustment. I know where my comfort position is here. I find that trying to anchor when going across multiple strings, that's only if you have what I guess you would consider a single point anchor. It's just, I used to play with my, like I say, my pinky down, and that can slide along the pick guard, so it's not that big an issue. But as the years have gone by, I've trained myself to tuck those fingers. We're not doing the hybrid thing. Yeah, so relatively boring exercise. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so now we're going to start breaking the rhythm up a little bit more, and I'm introducing some different chord changes in here. So it's important that you know the chord changes first, I think. So we're now going to move between a C chord, G with a B in the bass, A minor, C with G in the bass, F, D with F sharp in the bass, to G. Why am I playing? I'm like, what's wrong with this chord? I'm playing a G minor chord. Oh my days, that's probably the goofiest, silliest guitar mistake I've made in the last year. So C, C over G, no, C, G over B, A minor, C over G, F, D with an F sharp, to a G. Very classical sounding chord progression. I'm not sure what that means. So, very classical sounding. This is in. I always think of this as being in the Final Fantasy, the first Final Fantasy game. Though of course, I'd expect. Sus. Now we have a rhythm to contend with as well, though. So before tackling this, technically on the guitar, let's understand the rhythm, and I'll just vocalize it. Ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba ba da ba da da ba da ba da da ba da ba da 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 ba da ba da da ba da. Now when I apply the notes, I'm just going to keep that picking hand moving. So it's not going to be down, up, down, up, down, up. We keep the hand moving, right? Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. So read it right. So what I'm going to recommend with this is, if you look at the way I finger that, I'm playing the F chord as a triad on the DGB strings, but my thumb on the root note. And for the alright Chris, how's it going, man? For the D with the F sharp in the bass, I wouldn't finger like that again. I'll use my thumb. It's going to make it easier. Thumb. Changed my mind. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm still going to want to make that change. I think I'm probably more natural to play like that. So I like it as a chord progression, but like I say, because of all of those string crossing things that are happening, I think you have to be really, really honest with yourself. You have to record yourself playing it with whatever technique you currently use, and then you have to listen back to it. And you have to be able to say to yourself, that sounds good. Yeah? Not, and I'll be really clear here, I'll bring my face up. Not, I'm proud that I managed to play that. That's a different thing from that sounded good. You know what I mean? You have to really be honest with yourself and go, could that sound better? And for me, the measuring stick for this is, does it make me want to tap my foot? Or is there an air of uneasiness when I listen to it? And that's all I'm looking for. When I listen to my students' examples, when they send me things, all I'm looking for is, if I close my eyes, do I want to tap my foot to this? Do I want to move? Does this make my body want to move? And for me, when I take these examples, I'll go back to it, because I have motion in my hand, it would be impossible for me to hit the strings in any place other than in time, right? So I'd be very surprised if when I was playing that, you didn't instinctively want to tap your foot. So, okay, let's do away with that, and let's anchor our hand and see if we can get the same. Now, if your technique is good, you absolutely can. There's no question about it. Look, anchored hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Different sound to it as well. I find that when I anchor, my pick strokes are more deliberate, my pick strokes are more forceful. They are closer to rest strokes, though they're not all rest strokes, so you get more bass and projection in the notes. If I just play the first part with the anchoring, then the floating hand is going to sound more percussive. Anchor. Floating. Let's go. I'll do the hammer. The fun part about the floating hand is that it doesn't matter if you hit notes if you hit the wrong strings, because you are going to be in time when you're doing it. So that's that example. That's example 6. We've got 4 more to go. So I'll take my time with the rest of them. Any questions at this stage, let me know. Just a reminder, please do go into the links down below, because you wouldn't, you probably would believe how much work goes into preparing a stream like this. It's not just like a private lesson that I do on Zoom with somebody. I have to write up all the examples in advance. I have to make images of them. I have to set them up digitally so I can have them appear on screen. And then I have to go through the act of setting up the emailing system so I can make sure they all get emailed to you. A lot of work goes into these, and it's more than just 90 minutes of teaching, and of course the thought that goes into them. So please do a brother a favor, hit that subscribe button and go into the link in the description and download the PDF file and the Guitar Pro file, because the more numbers these streams get, the more viable they become as a business thing for me, and the happier I am to do them. I mean, I still do weekly guided practice routines every week, and I've done that for 148 weeks. So weekly guided practice routines on Patreon. So, what's an extra routine, right? Anyway, so let's move on to the next example. So next up, example 7. Similar idea. Similar idea. We're just similar in the sense that we're picking across all of the strings. And the love that goes into it. Yeah, that is true, Chris. I do love all of this stuff. So now we're going to arpeggiate through a C major chord. Then go to our G over B. Then to a G. To an A minor 7. To an F. Try and get that A string. You kind of want that to ring, I guess. And now if I swing it, it swings, right? And the dynamics are consistent. You get some crisp accents on some of those upstrokes, which is a feel thing rather than a notated thing. Yeah, and if I try and do the same thing, again, I say try. I know I'll be able to anchor it. It won't be a problem. So the focus there, of course, is about the kind of crispness of it. And I think listening carefully to it, there is an additional thing that's happening, right? So my microphone is actually set up in a way that it tries to do, like, I guess you call it reverse compression. It's not quite a noise gate because it doesn't gate off with complete silence. But it's kind of like a noise gate, right? So if I play quietly, can't really. Okay, turn the volume down on the guitar. That's not engaging my microphone. But as I pick louder, the microphone's picking that up now. So when I play with the floating hand, I can actually hit the strings in a more percussive fashion. So you end up hearing not just the amplified sound of the guitar through my amp sim, but you'll also hear the acoustic sound. Hear that coming in? Now, if I put my volume in, actually no, I'll keep the volume down and I'll anchor. There's less of it, right? So when I free hand that or float it, I think that as an approach, it ends up being more dynamic. And I'm all about that dynamics, right? All about those dynamics. So, example 8. What's different about this? Interesting. So, the only thing that we've changed here I mean, other than that, we're playing different notes. Or the new technique that we're introducing here is the idea of keeping the picking hand moving. So downstrokes happen, but we don't hit strings on them. So we have the first note is a C on the beat, then we have the chord, but then the next C note happens on the and of beat 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and da, 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 da. And picking wise, I want to keep this motion in, so we'll go down, down, up, down, up. And that's an area that students always struggle with. Downstroke, downstroke, down, but don't hit the strings, up, down, up. And you could just take that, right, just go. Making sure that we're hitting that. It's not down, 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 up, down. We want this constant motion. So that's our first idea. In the second bar, we're going to go. So it's an F with a sus. Put the first two bars together. Pattern there. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba 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 da da ba da ba da da da. That was what I was going to write in the original when I was writing this. Then in the third bar, we have a more syncopated rhythm. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's down, up, 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 down. And I want you to really emphasize this motion. Speed it up. Then I piece it together. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now I put the final bar in where we just have. So F sus, hammer it to F, F sus. I mean, it could be an F over G as well, I guess. Piece it all together. again, it's just that, just be honest with yourself. Does it make you want to groove? Does it? I need to read, don't I? And now I can't see it. Checking that float right. Wayne. I'll check in with my email guy. 2 seconds. I will endeavour to make sure you get that email, Wayne. Yeah. So floating a little bit more. Let's put a groove on, actually. I'll float for a little bit before we do the last 2 exercises. I don't like that. All right, let's do it on a blues. Last time. Okay, so I'm feeling good. Shame it's 11 o'clock and I don't have a gig to play tonight, right? Because it'd be fun to go out and play like that all night. Anyway, so example 9, now I'm getting loose, is similar to what we did before in the sense that I'm trying to accentuate or emphasize, would be a better way to put it, the syncopation. So when I look at something like this, my brain is really good at reading rhythm like this now, and I just process it as down, up, 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 down, up. And I just know that from this constant motion. So down, up, down, up, down, up. There's our rhythm. And all we are playing is a C major triad, right? Or just an open chord. We're going... And I'm just keeping that motion in there. And the yeah, did I play a 7 flat 9? And a sharp 5. syncopation. So down, up, up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. And the tricky part in this, how's it going, Fred? Playing Balatro, I hope. The tricky part in this is if you look at the second measure, we are playing a C major triad, ascending, but it starts on the and of beat 1. Now, we don't want to offset our picking hand. We don't want to go down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. We want to, where I've put that the 2 in brackets, that's tied on from before. I'm still going to keep my hand going down. I'm just not going to play a note. Down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up. So there's our part, right? And nice, anti-6. Yeah, just keeping that free floating hand is going to make that so much easier on us. And I'm actually changing my technique a little bit so you can see, which then feels awkward. I'll go normal. So yeah, that's the basic idea here, and I'm just killing time because I know the last example is pretty boring. It's just a scale again. But hopefully we can see now why I'm going for that. And if I take the same rhythmic idea, ba-da, ba-da, da-da, da-da, ba-da, da-da, and play it with a swing. And to me, like, that makes you want to tap your foot, right? And if you tried to like go, you could downstroke it, all right? Try and get the same feel, but this and honestly I would happily recommend a student 10 minutes on something like that. Like for me currently, I used to recommend having, TV stuff on while you're working on things like this, or YouTube when you're trying to drill in muscle memory. But now I'm actually trying to talk while I'm doing it, so I should be able to talk while I'm doing it. But that's definitely a tricky rhythm. Because what I'm doing now is I'm trying to talk while reading. So yeah, that's the level of syncopation that's happening there is higher than my ability to talk while I'm doing it. So. And the talking thing, all that's about, it's about testing myself to see if my brain is free to do things other than the thing that I'm doing on the guitar. Because when I go back and I put a loop on, put those changes on, if I'm playing over this, I need to always be able to hear 4 chord, 1 chord, going up. And that's about thinking ahead, right? So I'm thinking C, F, C, C altered, diminished, two chord, and it's, yeah, so improvising and playing over changes, like running the chords like that, is about being able to hear where you're going. And how can we possibly hear where we're going if we're so focused on trying to do the thing that we're doing? I'm trying to focus so much on where I'm heading, you know. So when I play D minor, which I know is, and I make that transition, I know I'm going to a G sound. F. Diminish. Yeah, to the D. To the G. Let's play like. To the diminish, we'll do F sharp. Too much fun. I can just play on that stuff forever because that's my vibe. So yeah, and all of that is floating, and I think that's what allows me, or in fact I know that's what allows me to be like a rhythmic player on things like that. I can play rhythm guitar through that and just lost my groove. And that's from listening to a lot of guys like Josh Smith, obviously, but also Osnoy and Wayne Krantz, big influence on that sort of vibe and syncopation and shit like that. Anyway, I'm really just trying to distract from the last exercise being really boring. So the last exercise, why do people keep asking about guitar solos? You guys had your opportunity to make guitar solos happen and make it work. No one supported it. So Mike went off and became a dad. So last exercise, just boring. Back to the scale, just playing the scale again here. It was more than that, actually, on the guitar solo front. It was, Mike went off and did the US tour with Party Can, and he was away for 2 weeks. And while he was off doing that, I started doing the weekly guided practice routines. And they just immediately were supported. People were like, oh yeah, we like this, we want to buy this. And we never managed to make the guitar solos viable as a business thing for the amount of time that went into it. So when Mike got back, we missed a recording thing, and I was like, I'm just going to keep doing practice routines because it was becoming hard work to keep it, driving forward. But, there are talks about another podcast, just something more reliable and less work. Because I do so much. I'm dying with the sheer amount of shit that I do. Anyway, so if you think back to the second example, which was a C major scale, same thing now, but with an hour of practice of floating our picking hand, we should hopefully find it easier to float our hand through this. So we're going to play that C major scale, and I want you to try your best to just completely float that hand. Let's work out the best way where I can sit so you can see this. Yeah, something like that. So, completely floating hand. Play it super swing. Or straight. Whoops. Now when I go back to this with this angle, you should be able to see it a bit more. So Jim has asked how much of my motion comes from my wrist versus my elbow. You can see, hopefully. There's definitely some. The way I like to describe it to students, or certainly the way I've tried to work it, is that the motion comes from the wrist. The elbow is the thing that puts the wrist where it needs to be. So if I'm playing, now when I do that, and I start coming across the strings, my elbow has to bring my hand up rather than trying to keep my elbow fixed and then trying to get that motion, but like tilting your hand across the strings. I want every string to feel like it's being picked. The motion is the same. So my elbow brings me across the strings and then I'm playing like that. looks like you're picking with the shoulder of the pick with the tip pointed out. I'm not sure what the shoulder means. Oh, I guess it depends the sound that I'm going for. So I quite like a flat pick on the strings. This angle thing, I'm not as wild on that, but yeah, very little pick is sticking out. You like that much. But to be honest, I think that the whole point of all of this is it's helped me. The motion has helped me get to a point in my playing where my rhythm is strong enough now that if I want to, I could solo on this and just play downstrokes, right? We could always try and Pat Martino it, right? Well, he might, yeah. Well, he tends to do that on a minor. Wakey. That'll do. Right, I'll move back to my position. And I'll end the stream in a second, so any last questions, get them in. Aha! Thank you so much for checking out this stream. Sorry I just descended into playing, but to be honest, for me, like, when it comes to practicing technique, there's the practice of the technique, and there's the application of the technique. So I want to practice the technique, then I want to spend a bunch of time just working on applying that thing to the instrument. And for me, usually that's going to be putting on a loop. I'll have a loop pedal and just setting up a little loop. It doesn't really matter what the changes are. It could be boring, like circular fifth stuff. I might go. Just do 4 keys. So just whatever it happens to be, I will use a chord progression as a vehicle to then... Sorry. I will use a chord progression as a vehicle to then apply the technique after I've done a bunch of practice on it. But practice is always going to be taking a technique like this, so a floating hand, applying it to a bunch of arpeggio work, a bunch of scale work, and then application of that stuff to my lines. That's the way I like to practice. So if you have enjoyed this, well, first of all, make sure you head on over to the link in the description, download yourself the PDF and guitar profile so you can practice all of these examples, because there were 10 examples in there. There's some nice musical chord progressions. In particular, I like the... chord progression, so that can all be found in the PDF file and Guitar Pro, so make sure you get that. I'm also going to recommend that you check out my Patreon page. You can get access to hundreds of transcriptions, weekly ear training videos. I say weekly, I've not done one in like a year, but you know, I take requests. Weekly guided practice routines, which of course are very big on my Patreon, and private lessons. You can have private lessons with me. You want to sit and do one of these one-on-one, tailored to your specific needs, where we can talk, you can ask questions, and we can get to know each other. Or maybe you just want to hang out and talk music. That's fine too. They're limited to 30 slots, and I think there's 26 taken, so there's 4 slots available currently. You want a private lesson with me? $50, why not? And so much more. There's tons of stuff on my Patreon page, so you can join that. You can also, on my Patreon page, find my guitar profiles for all of my books, because of course I have 14 books, and there's guitar profiles for all of them up there, so please do go and check those out. They're like $6 each. You want guitar profiles for a book, like 150 guitar profiles, $6. It's a steal. Great way to support me. You can also head on over to Amazon and you can check out my latest book, Guided Guitar Arpeggio Practice Routines, because we're doing lots of arpeggio stuff. And, I'm a big fan of arpeggio practice. And so Wayne says your chord book is great. And yeah, so Guided Guitar Arpeggio Practice Routines is the 3rd book in a series. I did Guided Guitar Scale Practice Routines, which is where we put a lot of focus in making sure we understand, the intervals contained in any given scales, so you can name scales and fully understand how to make them. Then the chord book is taking that interval knowledge and then working vertically, so understanding how chords are constructed. And then arpeggios is really just, the linear form of the vertical, if that makes any sense. It's taking the vertical, the chord, and applying it in a melodic context. So there's definitely a lot more talk of technique in there, but functionally, if you understand the chords, then you should be able to see the arpeggios. There's occasionally, well, not occasionally, you're often going to have to add a few notes to connect your arpeggios together, and working on like voice leading lines and things like that, which is something that I cover extensively in that book. So Guided Guitar Arpeggio Practice Routines. We are releasing the compilation in January of all 3 books. I forget what we've called it. I left that one to the boss. He's that's his job to come up with a smart title, because it's what do we call it? Guided Guitar Arpeggio Chord and Scale Practice Routines. That will cover the whole book. That's no good. Sorry, let me try that again. That would cover the entire front cover of the book. That's no good. So, but I'll give you an announcement on that when I know when that's coming out in January. And I think that is it. So I will sit here for another 60 seconds. So any last questions, get them in fast, because then I'm out of here. It's It's 11:30. It's 11:30, and I need to go and walk my poor little doggy. My poor doggo. I have built a pedal board tonight, though, because I'm gigging on Friday. I'm playing piano, and Melissa's playing guitar and singing. And she's just using... I bought her Fender Acoustasonic. She was using my Fender T-Lac, which is an old Fender acoustic, electroacoustic. Very beautiful guitar, but its tuning is not great. It doesn't hold its tune great. So I bought her an Acoustasonic, and we've just been plugging that direct in. And of course, a piezo pickup, or for you Americans, a piezo pickup, direct into a PA always sounds awful. So I've built her a little a pedal board with like some preamp stuff on there for the guitar. So hopefully the guitar's going to sound a little bit more interesting this time. And I put a little chorus pedal on there for her so she can try making some chorusy sounds. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this stream. I will be back again next Wednesday. If you have any requests for the stream next Wednesday, leave them in the comments section. And fingers crossed I will see some of you there. Much love.